Okay, guys, thanks for joining. It is consultant training, the 24th. We're coming up on the last week of March, so time to hustle and get in those deals. We got that stimulus promo and everything else going, so let's make sure that you guys close out the month strong. So we have Dustin Odell here from Loanpal, and he is going to take over the screen. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. Dustin, you guys are all well versed in Dustin and Loanpal, but we are here to just make sure everybody's good on the subprime offer as well as the new flex pay options and everything else. So if you have questions, please hold them or put them in the chat window. We'll have time to do some Q&A. This is going to be a slightly maybe shorter run through than we have in the past, just kind of more of a recap. And then again, towards the end, around 12:30, 12:45, I have Solar Edge also coming on. They have a couple updates that they'd like to give as well. So Dustin, it's all yours.
All right. Thanks, Rachel. Hey, Power Team. Good to be back. For those of you who made the meeting last week, this will be pretty repetitive. So as Rachel said, I'm going to go a little faster today on some of these updates. But if you made the meeting last week, this will be some good refreshers as well. I think I'm going to turn off my camera to help out my connection here, and we'll get going. All right. There we go. Okay. So we're going to dive right in here. Last week, we introduced some new products for Power, a 20-year 149, a 25-year 199, and then flex pay options on both of those products, as well as sub 650. These products, they're active with Loanpal, they're active with Power. However, I believe, Rachel, correct me if I'm wrong, there might be a slight delay just with the proposal software. Not an issue on Power's end, not an issue on Loanpal's end, but they should be active and live very shortly.
I believe I checked one of my proposals today and I saw the new 1.48 and everything showing up. So they are showing in the list. If you don't see it, you guys, please send me the proposal link and double check that it's not an expired proposal link. This is only going back 30 days.
Great. Okay. Glad to hear the update. Thanks, Rachel. So let's start off with a quick refresher reminder on FlexPay. This is a very unique product in the space. No other loan is structured this way to date, and it has some massive advantages for the sales team. So FlexPay, once again, it's a reminder, but it was created for a couple specific reasons. One is the lowest payment in front of the customer often is the most intriguing. And so we designed a loan with really, really attractive front-end savings. And then secondly, the overwhelming majority of loans in the solar industry get paid off within about 7 years. Now with Loanpal, it's quite a bit less, but the industry as a whole is about 7 years. And so what that means is when you're having discussions with your homeowners, sometimes you want to focus outside of just long-term savings, right? Opposed to just looking at 20-year savings, 25-year savings. We're going to be able to show them really, really attractive 18-month savings and 7-month savings and 10-year savings. So ultimately, while they have ownership of this loan, they can take advantage of more energy savings. And then finally, there is a third piece of this equation, which is that we are now doing what we call a Go Green refinance for your customers. And I'll provide a little more details here than I have in the past because some questions have come up over the last week. So this is something that takes place in our process once your job ultimately gets installed and everybody gets funded and paid. We provide a welcome call as part of our standard process for all of your customers on all of our customers as well. And so one of the things that we'll be doing as part of this process is providing them an opportunity to take advantage of this Go Green refinance. And what it really is in a nutshell is a very, very attractive way for them to wrap their solar loan into their mortgage. So we do this without appraisal fees. We do this with really, really competitive low interest rates. And a lot of homeowners take advantage of this. It's a way for them to ultimately take a monthly payment and turn it into a 30-year term payment and also get some additional benefits of rolling it into their mortgage. If you want more details on that, I have provided the Power leadership team with a few flyers. These flyers are designed more to be partner facing. So they're more so for your eyes, less so to be shared directly with the homeowners, but you can always speak to the important points associated with them. Okay, so one of the other big advantages with FlexPay, hence the name, is it's a really, really flexible loan. So we're kind of breaking the mold here and giving borrowers an opportunity to kind of pick their own path, if you will. So they can pay the minimum flex pay payment over the initial 18 months, or they can pay a little bit more if they like to and go direct towards principal. But we're at least allowing them flexibility to do so. Secondly, this loan is for the first time of any loan, providing the ability for your homeowners to re-amortize after the initial 18 months. So they still have the ability over the first 18 months where it'll automatically re-amortize for them at month 19. And then after that, they can re-amortize once every 12 months. And that 12-month period is based upon the last time they re-amortized. So this was a question that came up. Is it a calendar year? How are we looking at the 12 months? It's 12 months from the last time they re-amortized. So as an example, if their loan's automatically going to re-amortize at what month? 19, right? So move forward 12 months from that point and they can re-amortize again. If they want to do it again, it'd be 12 months from that point as well. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the loan structure. First, I want to talk about our standard loans. So these are non-flex pay loans. This is how they're structured today. So for the first 18 months, we have an artificially decreased loan payment, as everybody knows, to show customers how attractive their loan could be if they apply their federal tax credit amount towards the loan. So over 18 months, it's a really low payment. Now, if they take their federal tax credit and they actually apply that amount, which right now is 26% toward their loan, they will have a consistent payment past the initial 18 months. Rolling into month 19 and beyond will be very consistent with what their payment was for the first 18 months. However, most homeowners keep their federal tax credit, or for whatever reason, they choose not to apply it to their loan. So for most homeowners, they're banking on their payment going up at month 19. That'll be the most common situation for homeowners. Now, that'll be very similar for homeowners on FlexPay. On FlexPay, however, we are lowering that monthly payment for the first 18 months by even more, drastically so. And once again, we're doing that because we want to provide them upfront savings, knowing that they may not own this loan for 20, 25 years, etc. So for the first 18 months, they have a very, very low payment. And then let's look at the unique situation where a homeowner applies exactly 26% of their federal tax credit. If you have that very one-off customer that ultimately takes advantage of that and puts down the exact 26%, their payment will go up just a little bit. However, like most homeowners, they're probably going to keep their tax credit or a large portion of it. So no matter what, their monthly payment is going to go up at month 19. So very similar to our standard loan structure today. Financially, how does FlexPay stack up against really, really low interest rate products in the market? This is an example I shared last week. I'll go over a little quicker this week. So if we look at a 20-year 0.99, a non-Loanpal product compared to Loanpal's 25-year 1.98 FlexPay product, the initial monthly payment like for like is substantially less. It's about $67 less per month every single month for the first 18 months. So when you look at 18-month savings with a FlexPay product like this, compared to another very attractive loan product in the market, you can expect somewhere around $1,200 savings over the first 18 months, comparable to other products. Now, if we can continue on this track and we look at payments past 18 months, so let's say the homeowner in this example keeps their federal tax credit, no matter what, their payment goes up. On the 20-year 0.99, it jumps up to $188. On the 25-year 198 with Loanpal, it only goes up to $185. So even after the initial 18-month period, the monthly payment for the homeowner is less. So now we're showing the homeowner a very attractive situation for the first 18 months and months 19 and beyond. Okay, now this is a topic that's very relevant because I realize the importance of sales reps being able to tell this story and show their customers very accurate savings when it comes to FlexPay and how it's different from other loans in the industry today. And we're not there yet. So we're still in close communication with Solo. So right now, FlexPay isn't being shown in the best light. I'm very transparent about that. This is definitely a pet project of mine. I work with them every day on it. And I've been reassured once again, as of this morning, Now we are almost there. So I am hoping by the end of this week, this is what I've been reassured. Solo will have a very attractive way of displaying FlexPay in your proposals moving forward. And it's going to give you an opportunity to show short-term savings, like you can see at the bottom of the screen here for number 2. I think it'll be very impactful for you when you're talking to homeowners to show them their savings over 18 months and 7 months, and then asking them to compare that to what they're saving with other loan products in the market today. It will be a very big difference and should help you win that customer. And we're also going to get a page similar to this into your proposal tool so that you can once again show them that with FlexPay, they have far more flexibility to reamortize in the future should they want to, because once again, no other loan in the market today does this for them. Okay, that's FlexPay as a friendly reminder. Now I want to cover the sub 650 product in a little more depth today from last week. So with Loanpal, one thing that makes us unique is our approval rate is about 15 to 30% higher than other financiers. And one of the ways we do this is we look at all 3 credit bureaus and we pull the highest score of the 3. And we do this for co-borrowers as well. And remember, co-borrowers don't necessarily need to live in the home. If they're willing to put themselves on the application, we are willing to look at them as a co-borrower. So when it comes to the sub 650, we are now just looking for a high credit score of 600 to try and get you an approval. There are specific products that waterfall into the sub 650, and you can see them on the screen here. So the most popular one will very likely be the 20-year 2.99. It's a very low interest rate product, makes a lot of sense for your customers, and I'll walk you through a process on what it might look like when you ultimately want to use this product. But first, a quick friendly reminder. When you assume a customer is going to get approved for a sub 650, we are not supposed to increase their loan amount based upon that factor. We're not supposed to penalize customers based upon credit profiles. So ultimately, we're supposed to keep the loan amount the same when you pivot to using this product. However, your operations team still has flexibility to do change orders moving forward. They can still adjust the equipment, adjust the system size, adjust the adders, and appropriately change loan amounts based upon those things. All right. So here's a good example of how sales reps will most likely use the sub 650 product. Most will start with a product like a 25-year 198 or maybe a 25-year 199. And ultimately, if they do receive a decline, step 1 is always try to find the right co-borrower, because again, we're very, very lenient with who a co-borrower can be. And then the next step is when you ultimately would want to try to attempt to get them on a sub 650 approval. In order to do so, you have to select a loan product with us that waterfalls into the sub 650. Once again, that's these products here. So you will most likely pick a product like a 20-year 2.99. And that product, when you have a customer complete an application with that loan product, it will automatically waterfall into trying to get you an approval on a sub 650 if their FICO score is between a 600 and a 649. There's no additional steps you need to take. You just need to select one of those products and have the customer complete an application. Now, if the customer does qualify under a sub 650, you will know because your max loan amount will be $45,000. Now, this is different from our standard loans. Our standard loan amounts for max loan amounts, if a FICO score is between 650 and 699, it's automatically $50,000. If it's 700 or above, it's automatically $100,000. So once again, this is your trigger to understand this customer got approved under a sub 650 product. Okay. That was a decent amount of information. Maybe I'll open up at this point, Rachel, for questions.
Yep, we got a few here in the comment window. The first one, Larry asked, what is today's Go Green interest rate? Another credit check for Go Green, question mark?
Interest rates vary. So it's hard to quote one off the bat what it's going to be. I've heard interest rates right around 2.8, 2.9 right now for traditional 30-year loans. but they vary and they change daily.
Gotcha.
Yeah, what I can tell you is we do have an interest rate match guarantee. So we provide very, very competitive rates for your customers.
Perfect. Manalo, I'm going to see if I can answer this one. How can we resubmit a decline loan through sub 650? Manalo, first, make sure you did go the route that Dustin just said, which is find a co-borrower. If that doesn't work, then what he like, if this is something from like say months ago before we had Subfico, then he would just reprice it on the proposal and then either run it from the proposal, get a new link if it's expired, a reminder there, make sure it's not an over 30-day link, or use the manual links for the Subfico and try it again. Just again, really important though, that if you're going to use manual links, that you guys price it out first on the proposal so that it captures all the correct adders, dealer fees, and the right amount before you plug it into the other system. And second reminder, Subfico is max loan amounts if they do get approved up to 45. So keep that in mind. Co-borrower does not have to be on title. Correct. Co-borrower does not have to be on title, and they do not also have to live in the home. This is being recorded, Adrian. Stephen Lasky said, I did a deal yesterday morning, all approved and signed through Loanpal 2.98 FlexPay. Should I or can I go back and offer 25-year 1.98 FlexPay and get them re-signed? That is possible, right? To see if they get approved for that product too. And to get that change though, you're going to probably have to reach out to finance@power.com. They can also rerun it since it's a soft check. It's not affecting their credit. They could just rerun it all from scratch, couldn't they, Dustin?
Yeah, it's a good point, but they don't necessarily have to complete a new application though. So if they're
Right.
approved and they've been sent loan docs, then yeah, I believe your process is spot on. Connect with your finance department and they do what's called a simple change order, which means that they just select a different loan product for your customer. Loan documents automatically go out to them for them to digitally sign off on. And as soon as they do, it just moves forward in process.
So the key, Stephen, on that process is first reprice it out on the proposal, get a new install agreement that matches that signed, because you're going to need that. Then reach out to finance and say, please do this change order, and give them the details, the new amount, and the new APR. Larry says, thank you. And then Adrian, what is the amount for the reamortization the homeowner has to pay at the end of the year? It's that period. Can we go back to that slide so that we can just kind of re-explain again? It's months 1 through 18. And then it is the amount that is the same value as the ITC. Regardless of what happens and what they do with their ITC, it's going to be that value. It's that voluntary payment.
Yeah, I'll go into this a little more detail in case it answers the question from a couple different angles. So over the first 18 months, homeowners can put as little or as much down as they want on top of the minimum payment, and automatically at month 19, it'll re-amortize. So that is for all of our loans, whether it's our standard loan or our FlexPay loan. That is the way it works today. Now the little nuance with FlexPay, it's a little different, is after that initial period, homeowners can re-amortize once a year, every year as well. Now there is a minimum amount they have to put down on top of their loan, which is $2,500. In other words, in addition to the payments they're making that year, they have to put down an additional $2,500 down, and then we'll be able to re-amortize for them. And this is a slide I think Rachel was referring to. So this is the structure of our loans today. I'll show you a little side-by-side comparison here. So the first 18 months, no matter what, the payment is very low for the customer to show them how attractive it could be with a federal tax credit amount. FlexPay is drastically lower. We all discussed on why that is. Now, if a homeowner puts down the exact federal tax credit on our standard loan, their payment will stay consistent from months 19 onward. So basically a very similar payment to what they had in the initial 18 months. On FlexPay, if they were to put down the same amount as the federal tax credit, 26%, over the first 18 months, at month 19, their payment would go up just a little bit. So that's a slight little nuance with FlexPay, because again, we're front loading savings for your customers on that product. And one thing also to keep in mind though, is once again, most customers, most homeowners are looking to keep the federal tax credit, or if they are looking to pay down their loan, very rarely is it the exact 26%. Usually it's less than 26%. So they're already expecting their payment to go up a little bit.
Sorry, I was on mute. We got a couple more questions here.
Sure.
Um, and I'm just kind of typing in one answer for Nick because I see that one. Okay, so let's see. Manalo, shame on you. All of our the stuff is updated on Power Resources. Just do a quick search for financing or Loanpal. You'll see the page, and I have uploaded the updated manual links. Nick, do the customers get the federal ITC if the tax they owe is near zero? That's a very tricky question in the sense that we don't give tax advice, and you're never to give tax advice. So you should have them consult their CPA. But I mean, it's always been my understanding that if they have a tax liability that's equal to or greater than that tax credit amount, they should see value in utilizing that tax credit in that year. But again, refer them to a CPA. Dustin, you want to expand on that?
Yeah, I think you're spot on. Always let them know you're not a tax advisor, right? So be very cautious with what you share with the customer at that point. But yes, traditionally, if a customer is making income, they have a tax liability, and then the federal tax credit is based upon their tax liability. I can share with your team some training materials we use in the past. So Rachel, I'll get that over to you if you want to use that as a resource as well.
Yeah, if it's in a nice nifty slide deck like this, I can just post it right to your Loanpal
Yeah,
page we have for you in our resources.
sure.
Um, at what point can a homeowner roll his solar payments into the mortgage with Loanpal? So that's going to be if they refi, right?
Yeah, yeah. So that is a refinance process. So at any point, once ultimately their loan funds, they have an official loan with us, and they're about to make loan payments. At any point, we can ultimately offer them a refinance and bundle that into their mortgage. So a simple way of looking at it is probably post install. Anything post install is easy enough for us to bundle for them.
Cool. And I'm answering this one for June. Can the tax credit be available for homeowners for their second home? And it's like again, that's a tax question. Send them to their CPA. From what I understand, it has to be listed as a vacation, not vacation rental. Please correct what I just wrote. Vacation home. Rentals, I don't believe, are eligible. But again, send them to a CPA. To reamortize, does the 2,500 have to be paid all at once, or could it be cumulative over a year of extra payments? And I believe he's talking about flex pay.
Yeah, yeah. Great question. Yeah, there's lots of little nuances here, so I appreciate the team diving in on the details. So when it does come to reamortizing on FlexPay after the initial 18 months, right? This is a situation where the homeowner just needs to give us a call to our loan servicing team, and it'll be a one-time payment they put down. We don't have software behind the scenes that's adding up every little bit of extra amount put on their monthly payment and then automatically doing this for them. This is something that will take an actual support person on our team. So they simply need to give us a call, and it would be a one-time payment at that point.
Very, very cool. And since, and you know what? Before I go to your question, Bill, um, on the manual links, because I forgot to look for this, is there a flex pay calculator available yet? Because we did have a few reps reach out to me about how can you show them what happens if they put 3,500 down, at whatever year.
Yeah, yeah. In case I misheard the question, but our standard calculators today allow you to put down an additional amount towards the loan and show homeowners what their monthly payment will be afterwards. If the team has access to our manual calculators, it sometimes gets overlooked, but you have to scroll down to the very bottom of the calculator page, and allows you to put in an additional amount, and it can actually spit out a monthly payment on what it will look like.
Can you pull that up on the screen
Yeah,
so I can capture that?
yeah, of course. Can you see this okay, Rachel?
Yep, yep, we
Okay.
can see it.
So here's kind of the area where you're going to put in the loan amount, and then select a loan product. Let's do a 25-year 199. Calculating the payments here. And then if you scroll down to the bottom, you can actually put down additional amounts and show homeowners what their monthly payment might look like. So I don't know, let's do 5,000. And now you can see the new payment to $57.
Cool. So that uh, that reapplied or whatever on a flex pay, like let's say again, they're paying their standard loan, they decide, oh, we just got a huge tax thing, we want to put it back into our loan and reamortize it. They could just use this and assume it for that year.
Yes, yes, this would be very close. And then with Solo's proposal tool, it should be very similar to this. We're going to test and try it out first, but it should be very similar capabilities. So you should be able to do it within the proposal tool.
All right, let's go back to some of these questions. We are still waiting for Solar Edge to jump on. They should be coming on here pretty soon, but can you cool with us utilizing the time to keep doing Q&A?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. Bill, since you are front loading the savings, it would actually be in years 20 to 25 where the flex pay becomes more expensive than the straight 2.99 or 1.99 loan question mark. You see that question?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. So with FlexPay, the idea is to front load savings. So if you have a customer that's most interested in 20, 25-year savings, FlexPay may not be the best option for them. Keep in mind that they have additional advantages with FlexPay, like the reamortization, et cetera. But if they're strictly looking at it from a savings perspective, strictly long-term savings, then yes, with FlexPay, it might be slightly more expensive than a standard loan. That's like for like. So if you look at a 25-year 199 versus a 25-year 198 with FlexPay, the 198 is actually going to show more savings all the way up to the 20-year mark. So said differently, unless you have a homeowner who is focused on staying in their house for certain for at least 21 years, FlexPay will save them more money, right? But once again, the idea of FlexPay is that most homeowners either refinance or move within 7 years. However, if you have that one unique homeowner, maybe they own their house outright and they're positive they're not going to move for 21 plus years, you might want to consider a different product.
Thank you. Okay. If they refinance their home and want to roll in their solar payments, would the interest rate on the mortgage be the same as the solar loan? And that is a not necessarily, it depends on what the mortgage rate is going to be, right?
Yeah, anything that gets wrapped into a mortgage loan is going to be based upon mortgage rates. And those vary based upon a lot of factors, of course. Yeah.
Can you refresh my memory on which loan products we have that don't have a dealer fee with Loanpal? Because I know there's a couple of the shorter term loans, higher APRs.
Yeah, the 7-year 799 and the 10-year 799 are going to have the lowest dealer fees. Don't hold me to it. I'm pretty sure they're at 1% today, if not zero. They're very, very low. But those are great loan options, probably relevant to the conversations you're having with homeowners if they're really, really certain that they're going to get a refinance. And so that can be a strategy in the space where ultimately a product like a 7-year 799 or 10-year 799 are used because they have low dealer fees, knowing that the homeowner is most likely going to refinance. Just be cautious here. Fair word of warning, not everybody qualifies for a refinance. So you don't want to put your homeowner into a position where they pick a loan product that is less than ideal and ultimately they don't refinance. So just be cautious.
So Nick's question is, so again, dealer fees are costs that are imposed to the construction company. They're just built in. Nick, you should go over that question with your mentor. They'll be able to help you explain this better in more detail. So reach out to Michelle Bunch and you guys can discuss that. Michael Mazza, if someone moves and new homeowner moves in, do they get a new loan or would they just take over this flex pay? It's either or, right? It depends on if not necessarily a new loan, but the homeowner that's selling the home could transfer the system and everything to the new homeowner by rolling the payoff of it into the sale price of their home and it gets paid out through escrow. Or if that new homeowner does qualify and meet qualifications and wants to, they could also assume the loan, correct, and pick up where they're leaving off.
Yeah. So depending on, of course, the loan option we designed it so that it's as flexible for your homeowners as possible. So there's always, of course, the possibility of a homeowner being able to just pay off the loan when they sell their house. And then there's also the possibility of them ultimately having the new home buyer qualify for their loan and having it transferred over to them.
Cool. Awesome. All right, let me do a quick check here. Andy, do we have our next guest speakers on yet?
Present. Yes, we do. I see Michelle's smiling face right there and Neil's not quite. Oh, there it is. There's a smile.
Okay, Dustin, let's go ahead. And I want to thank you again for coming on. We always appreciate when you guys take the time to help educate our field even further. So, if there's anything else in parting, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next topic.
No, sounds good. I'll hand it over to Solar Edge Power Team. Thanks for everything. Have a great rest of the day. Talk soon.
Thanks, Dustin. Peace out.
Appreciate you.
All right. I've just made Michelle a co-host and Neil a co-host, and they are here not so much to talk about the the March Madness promo, although you are welcome to if you have anything you want to share on that.
Well, we're gonna talk about that too. Don't you worry.
Okay, cool. Because we've got a good, we've got time. So, you guys, like, let's utilize this time. We are now switching topics. No more topics on Loanpal or loans in general. We're going to stop there, and we're going to move on to Solar Edge. So it's all yours.
Yeah. So we'll switch to the other half of our brain and talk a little tech for a second. So we'll call this Tech Corner. So we got Michelle and I got a series of emails all revolving around backup power, and I think I know that this is really a fast growing segment, and I think it's like not everyone's going to get backup power, but you're going to find more and more. I think from here forward, your attachment rate for storage systems, battery systems, and backup power is just going to increase. Makes sense, right? Especially in a lot of areas where you lose power often. I grew up on the East Coast, and it would have been great if we had backup power when I was young. So, with that said, there's some stuff flying around about solar without batteries. So just solar being part of a backup power system. So just to give you a little background, this has been talked about a lot in our industry. There's solar can work in a sense when the power's out. The problem is it's not a really great solution. And so, I just want to be clear from a Solar Edge perspective, we really support backup power with solar plus batteries. So batteries are required. But, there are scenarios where with the help of a battery temporarily or with a generator where that could be made to work. You'll find videos on this stuff online getting shared, amongst the team as well. As a consultant who's bringing a solution, a backup power solution to a homeowner, it's just simple enough to say that it's just not a very great option. The example I'll give you is like, think about the winter. I was sitting with a customer once who said, well, why can't we do that? And we were sitting in the winter in the rain in their office, and I just kind of looked out the window and pointed and said, even on a day like today, when you only get 4 or 5 hours maybe of good sunlight, you're not getting anything out of the system because it's raining. So to call PV only a backup system, not really a great backup system, right? Especially when people aren't home, during that window. So really that's really the two aspects. So nothing's changed on our side. We really want to, as product is available, push the full solution with battery plus solar, and you have options of going from kind of a partial to a full home solution. But again, just maybe more of an internet rumor than anything else. Backup power with just solar, not a very good option. So I'll pause there and then maybe ask Michelle if there's anything you think I should add to that, or do you?
Yeah, team, if you have additional questions, please put them in the chat box. More than happy to answer them. I think the main thing that when I'm a sales consultant and I think of this, what we're doing with batteries is giving homeowners peace of mind that in a blackout situation, they would have power. And ultimately in this backup situation without batteries, I am very unconfident that they would have power in a time that they need it the most. And so ultimately we know that the batteries work. That is the most sustainable and solution that we know will work when backup is needed. And so that is the one that Solar Edge is supporting. And of course, that's the one that industry-wide is the most prevalent. So I would feel confident in selling the battery solution. Consider the backup without battery situation more of an experiment. So Andy, did you have something?
I'm sorry, I didn't mute. I'm sorry. I was just shouting at a dog so he didn't kill somebody. Sorry about that.
But I do also want to say, though, that I appreciate so much that this team saw that on the internet, reached out to Neil and I, and was a little skeptical of this, because that just shows that this team is very focused around making sure that your homeowners are getting what they need. So please, if you have additional questions, feel free to reach out to Neil and I anytime, because this is the kind of thing we want to make sure that we're answering. Yeah, Tom has a really good point here. This is exactly how I feel about it. Customers will have a better experience with a battery backup rather than relying on these DIY one-off experiments with 20 hamsters running on wheels to make backup power. Right. We need homeowners to have backup in a blackout solution and a blackout situation. We don't want to skimp on that.
Yeah, and we're selling a turnkey or automatic solution. The idea is that like the power goes out, now I still have power in my house. You can go buy a generator for $300 and pull it out of your garage and throw some gas in it and plug some stuff in, but people don't do that, right? That's a far cheaper solution to anything we're talking about in terms of what we're providing. But what we're providing is a far better, more robust, take care of your refrigerator, your fish tank, something else that's critical to your life, backing up your backup medical equipment, whatever that is. That's what we're selling. So it's not you're not missing out on some value by your solar system being able to provide 2 or 3 hours a day maybe of energy in the unlikely event of a backup, an outage. So that's kind of it. Happy to take more questions. Sorry, I'm on my
Yeah,
phone.
Neil, we have a couple of questions here, and
Let's go.
I think you're the perfect guy to answer some of them.
Okay.
So Bill asked any status update on LG Chem availability or the SolarEdge battery availability.
Sure, LG Chem's coming soon for sure. I know that there's some projects probably that people have. They're just waiting for batteries. They're launching a new product. It's a better product in every way, in my opinion, than their previous product. And I know you guys will have that available to you. I just think there's like a lot of things in batteries today, there tends to be some shortages when we make these product transitions. That's how in demand batteries are. Sorry, Michelle, I'm trying to see the second.
Yeah,
question.
Bill is not happy with that answer. I agree. We're all waiting with bated breath for these batteries.
Right.
And we'll make sure.
We keep hearing they're coming, and when they do, we'll get them back on our proposals. It doesn't, like I said, if you were to sell something and have it specifically battery ready for an LG Chem and you utilize the Energy Hub and the backup interface, you can do that. There's still no guarantee that we'll be able to circle back with any battery only retrofit installs. That is something that's being discussed, but doesn't exist yet for us. So just know you can sell those products. You can make their house, essentially battery ready for an LG Chem later. It is possible by choosing the right equipment and alerting your PM. But again, you can't promise that we'll be able to go back and do a retrofit or sell them a battery only product. We still are working on battery only loans, but it's a completely different proposal template. And then we also have to work out pricing and how we would be able to facilitate the install of that. So it's not something that we have turned on or necessarily will have turned on. It's being discussed. So
Yeah, and Rachel, I think just to kind of draw us back to our promo and really our efforts around Energy Hub is, look, there's a lot of people that are not going to buy batteries today, but they do want to be ready, and that's really what the Energy Hub's all about. It's a seamless story about getting your solar today and getting yourself set up for that future when you do buy things, right? And the cost of some of these things just means, look, people are not going to do it today, and now you have the way to get them ready for the future.
A couple other questions here. So is energy consumption only available through my SolarEdge with a battery backup solution?
No.
It's not available. Consumption monitoring is not something that's available standard. We do not offer consumption monitoring. So when there's a battery, go ahead. You guys can answer that with that part.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, look, I think it's something, Rachel, we're getting asked about a lot, right? So I think we need to circle up on that as well. But it isn't. How do I give a straight answer on this? It just isn't as simple to connect it to every house as possible. And
right. The clamps don't fit everybody's main service panel, period. Therefore, we can't offer it to everybody.
Right. And the thing about what makes power, a very, lean and mean, amazing organization is that you make some of those decisions. And I think we're going to close that gap this year. So I'm very hopeful. I'm glad people are asking about it and thinking about it. Just understand, yeah, there's some work being done to fix the tech side of it so that it can be a something you could guarantee to your customers, right? That's really what we're thinking.
Right. So yeah, so it's just, again, make sure you guys, I see this come up a lot of times. Customers like, why can't I see what I'm, using next to what I'm producing? We do not offer consumption monitoring. So they'll be able to see their production through their inverter app, Solar Edge or whatever inverter they're using, but they cannot see their consumption. Now, again, LG Chem, even Enphase batteries, I mean, they do have some different technology when the battery is installed with it. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I got two more little things here.
Like my etiquette thing, I was like, come on, don't ask about Enphase when we're talking with Solar
Adrian,
Edge. Jeez.
I don't appreciate that you're cheating on us with Enphase. And frankly, you have the chance to win $10,000 at this point from Solar Edge. So why worry about Enphase?
Don't forget about the promo.
So yeah, and then just I've seen a couple questions here about that we talked about. LG's got batteries coming soon. Solar Edge as well. Second half of the year, we will uncap this in a very big way and make a very big deal about it. We have shown product at events, but we have not really nailed that launch. But stay tuned for that. And what's coming with that as well is just bigger inverters so that we can really make a very simple solution. I think in the second half of the year, you'll be able to sell for most of your jobs the same inverter and just really add as much solar or batteries to that inverter as you need. That's really our goal, is to simplify it and standardize this. And right now, again, you're selling a few different battery options, different storage solutions. It may seem very like you have to know a lot. We're really trying to simplify that. So, stay tuned. But in the next couple of months, we're going to make this really easy for you.
Right. But currently, unless they had an energy hub installed with the backup interface and they scored a battery and somebody to install an LG Chem battery, it doesn't work currently to just retrofit a battery to any inverter. Like, it has to be an energy hub. James Higgins.
Well, energy hub is what supports the battery directly. But let's just say they didn't get an energy hub from you today. That's not a showstopper. That inverter could very easily be swapped or add another inverter to it at some point down the road.
Right. So there would be additional costs incurred in that situation. Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you.
If you think about it, the battery is a lot more costly than an inverter. So from the customer standpoint, 3-4 years from now, they decide to upgrade their system, they're just going to, lay out another bunch of cash or do a nice Loanpal or what have you option. And,
right.
It's included in the cost of labor and hanging the battery. And, oh, by the way, we're going to upgrade your inverter. It's not a go back and redo. And it's definitely not a new system. So it really fits well into the idea that, like, you're buying, a solution today. And as your needs change, call me back and let's figure out what we need to do for you in 5 years. And I have one of my favorite sales reps who's been selling solar for 10 years. 30% of his deals are just that. They're actually just a churn of customers needing more solar, customers now wanting batteries, customers needing maybe just a couple panels. But like that's what you're really building here as a sales professional. It's just a career, rather a pipeline of referrals that will, pay off substantially down the road. And that's why we sell, a platform solution like Solar Edge.
And yeah, and speaking of adding panels, so let's say somebody does have an existing system from a few years ago, and they're now running a true up, you are able to offer them, if there's room on the roof and everything else, you could see if they're eligible for a second system. Now, we're not going to add to that existing system. We're not going to touch that electrical. We're going to talk about adding a second system, at which point, again, depending on what their needs are, yeah, a battery might be a good time to roll that in with that second system. Okay, I'm not seeing any new questions, you guys. Let's talk about the promo. What's up?
Yep, just one more shameless plug on the promo team. So one thing I wanted to clarify, I did see a bunch of people request access to the training this morning, which I loved. Wanted to clarify and confirm with this team that you have 7 more days to take that training to be eligible for the contest. So we have from February 20th all the way to the 31st of March. We are taking all of the sales within that period and picking the ones that win that contest. And as long as you take the training within the next 7 days, all of your sales will be eligible for that contest. So I've gotten a couple questions, and that is the answer to that. We are getting a lot of people. We're pulling a report today to see where we're at with the contest, but I am actually, the week after March 31st, we want to actually pull the lottery results live on this call. So
Yeah. Hey, Michelle, can you post that link to your Google form so
yes,
people
will
can sign up
right
again?
here. There you
Nick,
are.
she's posting that right now. And then Tom, go ahead and unmute yourself. I don't quite understand what you're asking here about, when do you get a dedicated sump panel or when not. I'm sure that's going to be a case by case thing, but go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, with the old store edge, there was always a dedicated sub panel with breakers that were pulled out. And I was just wanting you to speak. I've got a bunch of people from my team on here too. We just want to know if you could speak to, with the Energy Hub, how is that different? And when should we set expectation that a sub panel with dedicated breakers in there for backup is needed?
So, Tom, I think that goes to the heart of like, how much backup power do I need to meet the requirements, right? So it's kind of in two parts. It's, if you're not going to back up everything, if you're doing partial home, critical loads, however you want to think about that, and you're going to do a single battery, right? Then the sub panel is basically required because you're trying to physically isolate a few circuits to ensure that those circuits are backed up. It also limits what can be drawn from the battery so that you're getting hours and hours out of that and not having the whole house drain the system. If you're doing whole house backup, and it doesn't matter really whether you're in California or other states, you're effectively going to back everything up. That's the simple way to do it. Now, in California, you may have to actually move everything into a new panel. So you kind of think of it like, in some situations, you're just going to have to do more electrical work and effectively move everything into a dedicated sub anyways. In other states where you have like a meter, a little panel, and then everything's inside, it's just much easier to do backup power. You just drop our backup interface right in the middle. You don't have to rewire anything, right? If anything, you're going to probably skip the little panel, and so you've reduced the number of panels. That is a site-specific, geographic-specific situation. So, if you're only getting them a single battery, and that that's not going to cover all their needs, it's partial home, it's a sub panel. If you're going to go 2 and 3, batteries and go for the whole thing, which you can do now with Energy Hub, you can have multiple Energy Hubs to do that. Then it's a maybe, because you may have to move everything, you may not. I hope that answers it.
Yeah, thank you. And Michelle just posted in here, you guys, just a reminder to get eligible for the promo. And big reminder, this promo is not nationwide to every company in the world. This is a power only March Madness Solar Edge promo that is super rare, and I don't even know if they've ever done it before, right? I can't remember if you guys have ever done something like this. It's crazy. It's a huge opportunity, you guys. And the two trainings required to be eligible are Solar Edge Fundamentals and Energy Hub for residential sales. Um,
Yeah. And
Bill's
anything else? Any other questions we can answer offline too? I think, are we out of time, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, you know what? Bill's question, that's the last one. What good is the Energy Hub if they only want to do one battery? Obviously, it's the component needed, but go ahead if you want to answer that.
No, it's what you need for connecting to the battery. So Energy Hub is a type of inverter. It comes in different sizes. That Energy Hub is the only inverter that connects to a battery. It also gives you the option to connect our EV charger to it, and it can be, one of 2 or 3 inverters down the road if they decide to build a much bigger system. So it is the to your point, it's a necessary product to connect a battery.
Awesome. So you guys, thanks for jumping on short notice. I appreciate it. And for clarifying all that YouTube stuff. For those that weren't familiar with what we were talking about earlier, you can go on Power Pioneers. We have a few posts and we have corrected some of the information that you guys were seeing out there. So if you get a chance, you can go on Power Pioneers. You can always do a search on Pioneers that says PSA, and you'll see all of the posts that I've done with information for the field. Michelle, Neil, thank you again. We'll see you guys first week of April. They will be back on. That's going to be a super fun one because we'll be announcing winners from the March Madness promo. So can't wait for that. And thank you, you guys. If you want to stick around, I do have a couple internal kind of house cleaning things that I'd like to just really quickly throw out there. Bye, guys. Bye. Thanks,
Bye,
Neil.
thank
Thanks,
you.
Thank you
Michelle.
both. Appreciate you.
So for everybody else that's sticking around now, really, really important that you guys understand what are considered eligible and non-eligible adders with the loan companies. You cannot just go and add in a roofing adder and then supply a roofing invoice when you're doing a ground mount. It will get denied. It will get kicked back. You cannot replace somebody's roof when the panels are going on the ground. Those adders are only eligible adders if it's something that's needed to make the solar installation. So we came across of a few instances of this. We have to go back to those reps and say, this is not going to fly. Actually, you have to be very careful with when you're doing these kind of roofing and subcontractor adders. You have to get invoices. You have to understand that the customer will get rebated. So we're not going to be paying those up front. It happens after installation. So please read that on Power Resources. There's a whole page about the roofing and sub process. And again, understand those eligible and ineligible adders and how it can apply to the loan, and we are not going to allow any reps to jeopardize our ability to utilize big companies like Loanpal and Sunlight. So, be aware of that. That's just my quick, thing that I need to make sure that you guys understand and know. Andy, is there anything else you'd like to add in here?
On that same subject or different ones?
Anything. We got a few minutes and then we'll let these guys get back out there and sell.
All right. So cool. So yes, so just to follow on from that, yeah, please don't use the rebate system to try and sweeten deals or whatever it is. If it's out of compliance with Loanpal, we lose our relationship with Loanpal. We're not selling much solar, right? So only legitimate rebates. You'll have to back up a roof rebate with a proper invoice from an actual company and actual photographs of the actual roof work. And plainly, if you're doing a ground mount, getting a roof rebate isn't going to fly. So just be really, really careful on that stuff, and obviously convey that to people that you're working with on your teams, and if you're mentors, all that good stuff. And then the other issue is the solo. When you're requesting docs, that's still an ongoing situation that they're trying to resolve, whereby if you're requesting docs, it's sometimes kicking you to the main customer page of Loanpal. You can let us know that. We'll reset your password. That seems to be fixing it for now. Or we can request docs for you. But if we're requesting docs for you for a project, we need the project name, customer name, project ID, the live link from which you're working, because some of the projects have 8 versions of it. So we need to know which proposal it is that you're working from. And then we need to know the name and email of everybody. Don't just assume that we know that it's the homeowner, just so it's the homeowner only. Or if there's a co-signer, this is the co-signer, this is the co-signer's email. This is the utility account holder, this is the utility account holder's email if there are any. Please do try and provide the utility account number and meter number as well, and whether you want documents in English or Spanish, and then we can have them sent to whoever the consultant is then on the proposal.
Great. Hey, you guys have the ability to unmute yourself. Does anybody have any other questions? Ray, Abad, I just told you go to Power Resources. The last training we did with Loanpal and SolarEdge had the first 15 minutes, and they were announcing the promo and all of the particulars about it. So go check that out. It was recorded and it's posted to Power Resources. Let's see. Anybody else have anything before we end today's session?
Bill mentioned the CEO call tomorrow night, so please, yes, be there. Either
Yeah.
or Jonathan will come and hunt you down.
Oh, wait, hey, I see Charles jumping in. I don't know if you're jumping in, Charles, because you need the Zoom link, or if you have, I think he needs a Zoom link. We got to go, guys. See ya. Bye. Have a great day. Go crush it. Go close those deals.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rachel, Andy. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.